Hey everybody, it's been a long time since we've done a video, a couple weeks at least. Running a lot of junk going on around here, so I apologize in advance. This is probably going to be a long, shaky camera talking video, but first thing we done before we got held up, you see we got rear end tore apart. This is the rear end that come out of the truck. It's 273 G80. Yeah, it's a good setup for highway if you like it. But mild 350, turbo 350. You didn't have no power. You couldn't burn tires off for nothing. You can cruise down the highway 85 mile an hour and maybe doing 1,500 RPM, something like that. You know, it's ridiculous. And we more want something for, street, quarter mile basically, from stop sign to stop sign, what have you. Just something for some more torque and power. So what we done is, of course, this is 5-lug. Come out of this truck, original. And I got another rear end over there, got from my buddy. And it's a 6-lug rear end. So, of course, you need to switch the axles. I went ahead and took the backing plates and stuff off anyway. I'm not sure if you'd have to switch them or if it'd just be the drums, but we pulled all that off. We done that. We ran into one issue, something I didn't expect. On this 6-lug over here, I noticed when I went to take it apart that the bearing stuck out further on this one. And I wasn't sure why. And I got to talking with the buddy of mine that I got it off of. And he was telling me about the axle saver bearings that they have. And they would, put the axle bearing itself out a little bit further in case you were rubbing a spot on your axle. And when I got to looking at these, they did. They showed marks where they were trying to rub through it. And I'm looking as I talk to you now, trying to find one of the old bearings to show you. And I'm not seeing where in the crap it went, but that's exactly what it was. It had those type in it. And so I had to pull them out. And I was going to just get some regular bearings like this one's got. See, this one I haven't even took the bearing out or nothing. It's just like it would be stock. And the price difference compared to buying two regular bearings like this one uses and two seals, it's like $2 difference compared to buying the whole one piece, what they claim to be axle saver bearings for this one, which basically just means, here it is. This is what I want to show you guys. This here, you got a seal on the outside, just like you would normal, but it's not separate from your bearing. It's all together. It's got an O-ring on the inside to seal it with a tube. So you even got a seal on the inside. Now, how in the world this leaked? No clue. Both sides leaked. I had inside these backing plates, they were real gunky, nasty brakes. Smelled like axle bearing grease really bad. So I pulled them out. And then my old man's van, his daily driver, he's got a 2000 Plymouth Voyager. He called me, said he broke down. We had to go pick him up. It wouldn't start. Talking with my buddy that I got this axle from, he told me, camshaft position sensor was bad for going out on them when they got miles on them. It's a 2.4 dual overhead cam setup. And we bought one, tried it, but no luck. And what ended up being, as I never would have thought this, but about 5 years ago, I put a water pump on it as the water pump was leaking. And of course, doing a water pump on those, you're right in there where the timing belt's at. And so they kind of sell the kits with everything. So I put a timing belt on it. Well, timing belt snapped. It's only been on there like 5 years. He was driving down the road, went to the post office, stopped and picked up his mail, had it shut off, started back up, made it not even a quarter mile down the road, and it just died like something turned the key off. So we got it up here, he had it towed. I figured out that it was the belt, and we had a delay waiting on getting the belt here for over a week with, all this stuff going on everywhere. And So that was the main priority. I had to get that fixed so he'd have something to ride. Offered him to drive my GMC, but he was afraid of getting in and out of it because, you know, it's four-wheel drive with 33s, and I've got antique plates on it. You're technically not supposed to drive it, but just on the weekends. And, you know, he's getting older, and he was worried about him and his wife being able to get in it, so he just turned me down. But we got the van fixed. He's back driving it. We're all good on that. This stuff you see on the floor, of course, I got chassis saver paint on it. That was another delay. It took me over a week to get in a little can of chassis saver just to do this crap. All this stuff going on. And, of course, we got everything ready. We got the floor, you know, everything cut out, fit, painted, ready to go. And I've got to do the patch in the kick panel here because this is bad. Got all this painted. Got those painted. Those are my little panels that I made to replace the kick panel part. I'm not so worried about it overlapping because I really want to buy the full length kick panels, the ones that goes all the way down, instead of these. Change them. And that way that's all covered anyway. Put some carpet in it. Carpet lower door panels, stuff like that. And also during this downtime, I have done a little bit on the 86 GMC. Actually, I painted the floors with all of that chassis saver, just like that right there. That way they wouldn't rust, because I'm not sure if I told you guys or not, but on my truck, on the 86 GMC, on this window sill, this is a one-piece deal. It doesn't have the lock strip. And on my 86 GMC, it uses the kind with the lock strip. The guy I got it from, I don't know if the windshield was busted or cracked or what, he had a windshield put in it. They took the lock strip out, they threw it away, and got it back in the lock strip, and it leaked. Surprise! He put a piece of coax TV cable in this trough, and it still leaked. So I ordered the lock strip itself, and I finally got around to putting it in there. I've had it here for months. I got the lock strip put in it, and like I said, we done the floors because the floors were showing little spots of rust here, real bad spots of rust on my passenger side. Like the whole floor was just surface rusted. So we got all that painted with chassis saver. I even did, you know, the tops of my rocker panels because scuffing, getting in and out, and it's a black truck anyway, so it matched real well. Today I done some other stuff on it. I knew when I brought it in here, tore apart last year when I first got it, looked at it, it needed some front brakes. So I ordered some pads, put those on. I've got another brake hose I need to change because they said they changed the passenger side, and it looked like it did, but they didn't change the driver's side, so I ordered a driver's side brake hose. I didn't put that on yet, but I did put new brake pads on it on the front. And let's see, I had to change the carburetor spring because it kept sticking. I had to tire some wires up to make sure they didn't get in the way of anything, get burnt. Trying to think if there's anything else I'm leaving off here, because it's been hit and miss here the last couple weeks. Like I said, we got tied up waiting on parts. I've got to order the axle bearings for that side over there, for that axle, the 6 lug. Like I said, this is the original 6 lug. It's originally a 6 lug from a K5. And somebody had got it before my buddy and swapped it to 410 gears. That's why we want this axle. But I've got to use 5 lug. And he told me, you know, well, if your 5 lug axles are good, they don't have that war spot in them, you can just use regular bearings and seals in that axle housing with these 5 lug axles. So I'm kind of undecided yet. I haven't really looked at these to see if they've got the war spots or not. I'm going to, and I'll make up my mind, because like I said, it's from Rock Auto. I think it's going to be like $36 shipped for a couple axle seals and bearings for the same kind of setup as this, plain. Or if you want those one-piece deals, it's going to be like $38, you know, so it's not a huge difference. But we definitely want to get those in. I've got my center pins in now for my leaf springs. These leaf springs I got from the same buddy that I got the 6 lug axle off of. And what happened was we had one the eyelet broke off of. And these leaves come out of a Suburban, so they're stiff. And they rode like crap, so I'm fixing to remove the overload and probably the next leaf up. And then wire brush them, paint them. I like to wire brush that axle and get it painted and get that all put back under here. One of these spring hangers has already been changed, and the other one had to be changed because it rusted in the same spot. And you can see here, this is the one that rotted, and there's kind of a good sized window in the bottom of it. That's the same thing the other one did when we first got this truck. So I've got a new one of those. I'm just looking to paint it when I paint the other stuff and get all this bolted back up, get the rear end back together, rolling, and get all my new panels over there welded in. I've got all my primer in now, so once those are welded, I'm gonna come back over here and take off this black paint that I put on to keep it from rusting, epoxy prime it all, body work it, with body filler, sand it, re-epoxy if need be, and then I've got sandpaper to scuff this whole cab and get ready to not sure if I want to epoxy the whole cab, because it's got a couple of rounds of this white on there plus the blue from the factory, and so I could epoxy the whole deal and then put on some high build, but I may just scuff it, epoxy the areas I need, and then high build the whole surface, block it. The doors, I want to epoxy both of them since they're new and they're aftermarket, they're thin metal. That coating's not that great, so I want to scuff them, epoxy them inside and out as best as possible. High build primer, get those ready to go. I plan to do the same thing with the front end when I get it. But like I said, we've got all that stuff here now, so hopefully we can get some more done and get most of this cab finished up. And like I said, I apologize for not getting anything done here in the last couple of weeks, or a video up at least. We've been working, been busy. My wife's been kind of taking the phone on me. She likes to play games and read on it, so this is the first chance I've got to get a video. And you guys just stay tuned for some more. Like I said, hopefully we get some more on the GMC as well as this. But only time will tell. So you guys stay in, stay safe, and hope you enjoyed watching.